I am a bad person. I know this. I hurt a good man. I broke his life. I was wrong. My story starts long ago. I was a little girl. It was Christmas. I was at home with my mother. My father came to the door. His name was Richard. He looked at me. He looked at my mother. Then he left. He closed the door. He did not come back. My mother cried. She cried and cried. She said, "Richard left us. He does not love us. We are nothing to him." I was small. I was afraid. I listened to her words. The words stayed in my head. They stayed in my heart. I was angry, very angry. I grew up. I was angry every day. I thought about my father. I wanted to hurt him. I wanted him to feel bad. Then I met a man. His name was Hubert. Hubert was good. He was nice. He smiled a lot. He built houses. He liked his work. He liked people. Hubert loved me. I knew this. He gave me flowers. He made food for me. He held my hand. His hand was warm. I was cold inside. But I held his hand. I needed him. But I did not love him. I did not love Hubert. This is true. I used him. I was alone before. He made me feel less alone. But my heart was empty. My heart was full of anger. Hubert was too nice. He was too soft. He cried at movies. He helped old people. I thought he was weak. I thought I was strong. I thought I was better than him. I stayed with Hubert for 2 years. He talked about marriage. He said, "We can have a house. We can have children." I said nothing. I just smiled. I did not care about his dreams. One day, Hubert said, "I want you to meet my friend. His name is Liam. He is my best friend." I said, "Okay." Hubert took me to a big party. Many people were there. Everyone wore nice clothes. Hubert held my hand. He was happy. We walked into the room. Then I saw Liam. He stood near the window. He wore a black suit. He was tall. He looked different. Hubert was soft. Liam was hard. His eyes were cold. Hubert said, "Liam, this is Bianca." Liam looked at me. He took my hand. His hand was cold. I liked that. We sat at a table. Hubert talked a lot. He was very happy. Liam looked at me. I looked at him. Then Liam said something. He said, "I work for a big company now. The name is Empire Holdings." I knew that name. That was my father's company. I asked, "Who is your boss?" I was calm. But my heart was fast. Liam said, "My boss is Richard. He likes me. I am his important helper." Richard, my father, the man who left me, the man I hated. Liam worked for him. I looked at Hubert. He was smiling. He was drinking. He was happy. He knew nothing. He could not help me, but Liam could help me. Liam could help me hurt my father. I smiled at Hubert, but I looked at Liam. I had a plan now. It was a bad plan, but I did not care. This was my time. This was my chance. Hubert talked more. He said, "We are all friends now." He was so happy. He did not know. He did not see. I was not his friend. Not anymore. Liam looked at me again. He knew something. I could see it in his eyes. He was smart. He was dangerous. That was good. I needed dangerous. The party ended. We went home. Hubert was happy. He said, Liam is great. I am so happy you met him. I said, yes, he is great. But I was thinking about my plan. That night, I could not sleep. I thought about my father. I thought about Liam. I thought about revenge. Finally, I could hurt my father. Finally, I could make him pay. Hubert slept next to me. He was peaceful. He was good. But I did not care. He was nothing to me now. Liam was everything. Liam was my weapon. Liam was my key. I looked at Hubert in the dark. I felt nothing. No love, no guilt, nothing. I was cold inside. I was empty, but I was ready. My plan started that night. I would use Liam. I would destroy my father. And Hubert? Hubert would just have to suffer. He was in my way now. I closed my eyes. I smiled in the dark. I thought I was smart. I thought I was strong. I thought I would win, but I was wrong. So wrong. The next day, I called Liam. I said, "Can we meet? I want to talk." He said yes. We met at a coffee shop. I sat down. Liam sat across from me. He looked at me. He waited. I said, "Hubert talks about you a lot. He says you are his best friend." Liam nodded. He said, "Yes, we are friends for many years." I looked at my coffee. Then I looked at him. I said, "You work for Richard." He said, "Yes, he is my boss." "Why?" I said nothing for a moment. Then I said, "I know Richard." Liam's eyes changed. He sat up. He said, "How do you know him?" I took a breath. This was my chance. I said, "He is my father." Liam was surprised. He said, "Your father?" I nodded. I said, "Yes, but he left me. He left my mother. He threw us away." I made my voice sad. I made my eyes wet. This was my game. Liam looked at me. He said, "I am sorry." But his eyes were not sorry. His eyes were interested. He wanted to know more. I said, "Richard is not a good man. People think he is good, but he is not. He is a monster." Liam leaned forward. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "He hurt my mother. He hurt me. He took everything from us." This was a lie, but Liam did not know that. He believed me. He said, "That is terrible." I nodded. I looked down. I acted sad, but inside I was happy. My plan was working. We talked for a long time. I told Liam many things. Some were true. Many were lies. I said, "My mother cried every night. We had no money. Richard had everything. He did not care about us." Liam listened. He said, "Richard is powerful at the company. Everyone respects him." I said, "They do not know the real Richard. Only I know." Liam's eyes were hungry now. He wanted more information. I went home. Hubert was there. He was cooking dinner. He said, "Where were you?" I said, "I went shopping." He smiled. He believed me. He always believed me. He was so easy to fool. Hubert kissed me. I let him. But I thought about Liam. Hubert was warm and soft. Liam was cold and hard. I needed Liam. I did not need Hubert anymore. The next week, I met Liam again and again. We met many times. Hubert did not know. I lied to him every time. I said, "I am with friends. I am at the store. I am tired." He never asked more questions. Every time I met Liam, I told him more. I said, Richard has secrets. He did bad things. I know about them. Liam's eyes got brighter. He said, What kind of secrets? I said, Money secrets, business secrets, things that could hurt him. Liam said, Can you tell me more? I said, Maybe. If I can trust you, he said. You can trust me. But I knew he was lying. I did not care. I was lying too. One day, we sat in his car. It was dark outside. Liam said, Why are you telling me this? I looked at him. I said, Because I want revenge. I want Richard to lose everything, just like he made us lose everything. Liam was quiet. Then he said, I can help you. I said, How? He said, I work close to him. I know his business. I can find his weak points. My heart beat fast. This was what I wanted. I said, Will you help me? He said, Yes. Then he looked at me differently. He said, But why do you trust me? I moved closer to him. I said, Because you are not like Hubert. You are strong. You understand power. This was the hook. I saw it in his eyes. He liked my words. He liked that I chose him over Hubert. I smiled at him. He smiled back. His smile was cold. I liked that. I went home that night. Hubert was asleep. I lay in bed. I thought about my plan. Liam would help me destroy my father. And Hubert? Hubert was nothing now. Just something in my way. I felt powerful. I felt smart. I thought I was winning, but I was so blind. I could not see the truth. I could not see that I was not the player. I was the piece on the board. I lived two lives now. At home, I was Hubert's good girlfriend. I smiled at him. I cooked for him. I said nice things, but it was all fake. Hubert was very happy. One night, he said, Bianca, I love you. I want to marry you. I said, That is nice. Inside, I felt nothing. No happiness. No love. Just cold. The next week, Hubert showed me something. It was a ring. A gold ring with a stone. He said, This is for you, for our wedding. He looked so happy. His eyes were bright. His smile was big. I looked at the ring. I looked at his face. I felt sick. Not because the ring was bad, because Hubert was too happy, too innocent, too blind. I wanted to push him away, but I smiled. I said, It is beautiful. He hugged me. I stood there. I felt nothing. Every day I met Liam in secret. We met at coffee shops. We met in parks. We met in his car. Hubert did not know. I told Hubert I had work. I told him I had friends. I told him I was tired. He believed everything. He was so easy to fool. With Liam, I was different. I told him my stories. I said, My father hit my mother. He screamed at her. He made her cry every day. This was not true. But Liam believed me. I cried when I told these stories. The tears were real, but the stories were fake. I was a good actor. Liam watched me cry. He said, I am so sorry. But his eyes were cold. He did not really care. He just wanted information. I said, My father took all our money. He left us with nothing. We were hungry. We were cold. More lies. But Liam nodded. He said, "That is wrong. Very wrong." Then Liam said something important. He said, "Power needs to change hands. Richard should not have all that power." I looked at him. I said, "Yes, he should lose everything." I started to give Liam secrets. My mother told me things about my father, old bank accounts, old friends, old business partners. I told Liam everything. He wrote it all down. He said, "This is good. This will help." At home, Hubert started to notice. One night he said, "Bianca, are you okay? You seem far away." I said, "I am fine." He said, "Are you sure? You do not smile anymore." I said, "I am just tired. You worry too much." He looked sad. He said, "I just love you." I said, "I know, but I did not say I loved him back, because I did not. I never did." Hubert tried to make me happy. He bought me flowers. He made my favorite food. He played soft music. But nothing worked. I was cold to him. I was mean to him. He did not understand why. One night, my phone rang. It was Liam. I went to another room. Hubert could not hear. Liam said, "I have a plan. We can push Richard out, but I need something." I said, "What do you need?" He said, "A document, a paper with his signature. Can you get it?" I thought for a moment. Then I said, "Yes, I can get it." Liam said, "Meet me tomorrow. Same place." I said, "Okay." I hung up. My heart beat fast. This was really happening. My revenge was coming. The next day, I met Liam. It was late. It was dark. We sat in his car. He showed me the plan. He said, "With this document, we can take everything. Your father will lose the company." I looked at the papers. I looked at Liam. I said, "When do we do this?" He said, "Soon. Very soon." Then he looked at me differently. He moved closer. He said, "You are strong, Bianca. You are not weak like Hubert." Then he kissed me. I kissed him back. It was not love. It was not soft like Hubert's kisses. It was hard. It was cold, but I liked it. I felt powerful. I felt alive. We stopped. Liam said, "This is just the beginning." I said, "Yes." I felt a thrill, not because I loved Liam, but because I had power now. I was winning. I went home. Hubert was asleep. I looked at him. He looked so peaceful, so innocent, so stupid. I felt nothing for him. No guilt, no love, nothing. I got into bed. I did not sleep. I thought about my plan, about Liam, about my father, about revenge. I smiled in the dark. I thought I was so clever. I thought I was in control. But I was wrong. So very wrong. 2 weeks later was Hubert's birthday. He wanted a big party. He said, "I want all my friends there. I want you there. I want Liam there." I said, "Okay." The party was at a nice restaurant. Many people came. Friends from work, friends from college. Everyone was happy. Everyone smiled. Music played. People laughed and talked. I wore a red dress. Hubert wore a nice suit. He held my hand. He said, "This is the best day of my life." I smiled, but inside I felt nothing. Liam was there too. He stood near the bar. He wore a black suit. He looked at me. I looked at him. We did not talk, but we did not need to. We both knew the plan. Hubert was so happy. He talked to everyone. He introduced me to his friends. He said, "This is Bianca. She is my girlfriend. I love her very much." People smiled at us. They said we were a nice couple. I drank wine. I smiled. I played my part. But I watched the clock. I waited. I knew something big would happen. I could feel it. Then the music stopped. Everyone looked around. Hubert stood in the middle of the room. He held a microphone. He said, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I want to say something." People clapped. They waited. Hubert looked at me. His eyes were so happy, so full of love. He said, "Bianca, can you come here?" I walked to him. My heart beat fast, not because I was happy, because I knew what was coming, and I knew what I would do. Hubert got down on one knee. The room went quiet. Everyone watched. Hubert took out the ring, the gold ring with the stone. He said, "Bianca, I love you. I love you so much. Will you marry me?" Everyone held their breath. They waited for my answer. Hubert looked up at me. His eyes were bright. His smile was big. He looked so happy, so innocent, so stupid. I looked at him. Then I laughed. It was not a nice laugh. It was cold, mean. Everyone looked confused. I said, "No." Hubert's smile died. He said, "What?" I said, "No, Hubert. I cannot marry you." He stood up. He said, "Why? What is wrong?" I looked around the room. Everyone watched me. I said, "You are a child, Hubert. You are too soft, too weak. I need a real man." The room was silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Hubert said, "What are you saying?" His voice shook. Tears came to his eyes. I dropped my wine glass. It fell to the floor. It broke into many pieces. The sound was loud, just like Hubert's heart breaking. Then I walked across the room. I walked to Liam. Everyone watched. I took Liam's hand. I said, "I choose Liam." The silence was terrible, heavy, dark. Hubert looked at me. Then he looked at Liam, his best friend. His face changed. He looked broken. Hubert said, "Liam?" His voice was small, like a child. Liam looked at Hubert. Liam's face was cold. He did not look sorry. He did not look sad. He looked empty. Hubert's tears fell. He cried in front of everyone. He said, "How could you? Both of you?" His voice broke. He was shaking. I felt powerful. I felt strong. I thought I had won. I had the strong man now, not the weak one. I smiled. People started to talk. They whispered. They looked shocked. Some looked angry. Some looked sad. But I did not care. I held Liam's hand. We stood there together. Hubert looked at us one more time. Then he ran out. He left his own party. Some people followed him. Others stayed. They stared at me and Liam. One woman came to me. She was Hubert's friend. She said, "You are a monster." Then she left. More people left. Soon the room was almost empty. I did not feel bad. I felt free. I looked at Liam. I said, "We did it." He said, "Yes." We left together. That night, I packed my things. I left Hubert's apartment. I moved in with Liam. Hubert called me many times. I did not answer. He sent messages. I did not read them. He was my past now. Liam and I worked on our plan every day. We had meetings. We looked at papers. We made calls. Soon, we would take down my father. Soon, Richard would lose everything. I thought I was winning. I thought I was smart. I thought I was in control. I looked at Liam. I thought he was my partner, my equal, my weapon. But I was so blind, I could not see the trap. I could not see that I was not the hunter. I was the prey. The day came. The big meeting. Liam went to the office. I waited at home. I waited for his call. My phone rang. It was Liam. He said, "It is done. Richard is out." I felt my heart jump. I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes." The board voted. He lost everything. I smiled. I laughed. I said, "We won." Liam said, "Yes, we won." Then he said, "But there is more. Richard is in the hospital. He had a heart attack. It happened at the meeting." My smile stopped. I said, "What?" Liam said, "He is sick, very sick, maybe dying." Then he hung up. I sat down. My father was in the hospital, dying, because of me, because of Liam. I should feel happy, but I felt strange, empty. I went to the hospital. I had to see him. I had to see Richard fall. I wanted to tell him. I wanted to say, "I did this. This is for Mom. This is for me." I walked into his room. It was white and cold. Machines beeped. Richard lay in the bed. He looked small, old, weak, not like the strong man I remembered. He opened his eyes. He saw me. I waited for anger. But his eyes were soft, sad. He looked at me with pity. I said, "Hello, Father." My voice was cold. He said nothing. He just looked at me. Then he moved his hand. He pointed to a box next to the bed. I picked up the box. It was old, heavy. I said, "What is this?" He said, "Open it." His voice was weak, quiet. I opened the box. Inside were papers, old letters, bank papers. I pulled them out. I started to read. The first letter was from my mother, to a man named James. She said, "I love you. I will leave Richard soon. Then we can be together." The date was from long ago. Before Christmas, before my father left. I read more letters, more and more. They were all from my mother, to James. Love letters. She had an affair. She loved another man, not my father. Then I found other papers, bank papers. They showed money transfers, every month, for 20 years, from Richard to my mother, large amounts, thousands of dollars. My hands shook. I read a letter from my mother to Richard. She said, "Give me the money, or I take Bianca away forever. You will never see her again. No, no." This was wrong. This could not be true. I found more papers, a divorce agreement. My mother demanded money, lots of money. She threatened to take me. She said Richard could never see me if he did not pay. I looked at my father. He looked at me. He said, "She lied to you, Bianca. I never left you. She took you from me. She made you hate me. I sent money every month, for you, but she kept it. She told you I threw you away, but that was not true. The room spun. I could not breathe. I said, "No," Mom said. She said, "You left us." She said you did not love us. Richard said, "I loved you. I always loved you. I tried to see you, but she would not let me. She poisoned your mind against me." I looked at the papers again. The truth was there, in black and white. My mother lied. She lied about everything. She had an affair. She wanted money. She used me as a weapon. She made me hate my father, and I believed her. All these years, all this hate, all this anger, it was based on a lie. I fell to my knees. The papers fell from my hands. I said, "What did I do? What did I do?" It was a lie. My hate, my life, my revenge, all a lie. I was not the hero. I was the monster. I destroyed my father. I destroyed Hubert. I destroyed everything for nothing, for a lie. My father looked at me. Tears ran down his face. He said, "I forgive you, Bianca." Then his eyes closed. The machines beeped faster, then slower. Then they made one long sound. My father was gone, and it was my fault. I ran from the hospital. I ran fast. I could not think. My father was dead. My mother was a liar. I needed Liam. He would help me. I went to Liam's home. I opened the door. Liam was there. He sat in a chair. He had a drink. He was very calm. I ran to him. I cried. I said, "Liam, we did a bad thing. My father was good. He loved me. My mother lied. Everything was a lie." I waited. I thought Liam would be sad. I thought he would be sorry. But he looked at me. His face was cold, empty. He said, "I know." I stopped. I said, "What?" He said it again. "I know." I was confused. I said, "You know what?" He said, "I know your mother was a liar. I always knew." I sat down. My legs felt weak. I said, "But why? Why did you help me? Why did we hurt my father?" Liam looked at me. He said, "Because I wanted to hurt Richard. That was my plan." I did not understand. Liam said, "Listen, many years ago, Richard had a company. My father had a company too. Richard's company was bigger, stronger. Richard took everything from my father. He stopped. He drank. Then he said, 'My father lost his company. He lost his money.' He was very sad. One day he went into the car. He closed the door. He died there. I felt cold. I said, 'Your father died?' Liam said, 'Yes. He killed himself. Because of Richard.' I could not speak. Liam said, 'I wanted to hurt Richard. So I got a job at his company. I worked hard. Richard liked me. I waited. Then I met Hubert. Then I met you.' He looked at me. He said, 'You hated Richard. You wanted to hurt him too. So I used you.' My heart stopped. I said, 'You used me?' He said, 'Yes. You were useful.' I started to cry. I said, 'But we were together. You and me. You left Hubert for me.' Liam said, 'No, I never loved you.' The words hurt. He said, 'I wanted to destroy Richard. You helped me do that. That is all.' I cried more. I said, "What about Hubert?" Liam said, "Hubert was in the way. Now he is gone. I do not care." I looked at Liam. I did not know this man. He was cold. He was empty. He was just like me. Liam stood up. He said, "You need to go now. I have the company. I have everything. I do not need you." I said, "Where do I go?" He said, "I do not know. That is not my problem." He walked to the door. He opened it. He said, "Go." I stood up. I walked to the door. I said, "I loved you." He said, "No, you did not love me. You loved power." The door closed. I was alone in the hall. I went outside. It was dark. It was cold. I had nothing now. No father, no Liam, no Hubert, no home. I sat on the ground. I looked at the dark sky. I thought about my life. I wanted to hurt my father. I wanted revenge. But my father was good. He loved me. And I killed him. Hubert was good too. And I hurt him. I threw him away. I wanted everything. But now I had nothing. I lost everything good in my life. I sat there in the dark, alone, cold, broken. This was my life now. This was the end. I did bad things. Now I was alone, and I would always be alone. I was the bad person, and bad people do not get good things. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this story. If you enjoyed this time together, please support the channel. Click like so I know you want more stories like this. Share the video with a friend who is learning English and help them relax and practice at the same time. And don't forget to subscribe to Cavaco English Storytime and turn on the notification bell. Your support is small for you, but very big for this channel. It helps our little reading corner continue to grow.